or 1580 AM or www.pkyonline.com. This is the Gator and DT Sport Talk Show sponsored by Trice Hughes. I had to throw in the good morning this morning because I got to luckily watch one of the best shows I ever had 2 nights ago. Good Morning Vietnam. I'm going to tell you what, Robin Williams is the funniest man, and I sure wish he was still with us. But I know the people, if I would have had to go to the service and been over there with them, if they'd have had somebody like that every morning to get you going, of course here would help too, and I know I'm not going to fill in, but anyway, we appreciate you listening this morning. I have a special guest sitting beside me this morning that's going to help me. My man Gator has gone to Las Vegas. His Rydell company has sponsored, that's where they have their yearly conference, and they sent him out there. Now, he couldn't drive around town for an hour or two, but he was able to fly out there for 5 or 6 hours, and I'm sure he's making it fine. I've texted him 2 or 3 times. He didn't text back. I don't know if he got down and listened to all those bells ringing and the chairs didn't line up. He might be in the hospital again. I don't know. I hope not for his sake. But anyway, I do have a few other people that I want to mention this morning before we get started. Thank you for all of your support. One of them, well, as a matter of fact, there's 2 of them that used to play golf with us all the time, and I honestly believe they mean it. They say they do listen and they like the show, is Charlie Coleman and Johnny Bashir, and both of them have told me they appreciate it, and I want you to know I appreciate your support. The other one, I was eating breakfast at Heaton's the other morning, and this lady, I've worked with her forever, and she was at the school, Miss Brenda Ladd. And she had to be a smart aleck and come up to me and ask me for my autograph in front of a lot of people. And of course, they looked around and started laughing. They thought it was funny, and I did too at the end. But anyway, Miss Brenda, I appreciate you too, and I do appreciate your friendship over all the years. And you all know her, and you know her family. Her son played for me, Tad Ladd, and he owns his own business here, hunting business in Princeton. Every time my son talks to me, he wants another hat. So if you have a summer hat, that's what Wes needs. Those winter hats in Florida aren't too good. But the other lady, his daughter, is Nicole, and she owns String Beans. And that's another business that both of those people have in Princeton, and they're supporting Princeton at this point in their life, and we appreciate that very much. I think Jake Pepper told me, or he told some people at one of the places I was with him, that he eats down there about 4 times a week. So evidently he loves the food that she puts up with. This, who have we got on the phone? Is that our guest?
Yeah. I'll switch it over and you'll be able to hear them, and then whenever they enter again.
Okay. We have a special guest this morning, the one that I was afraid might not call in. You never know about him. I got to meet the man playing at Western. He was with me, then he came back here as a coach, and Mr. Bill Sykes is going to be with us right now, and I'm not going to ask him any tough questions. I'm going to let him answer them all because he will the way he wants to anyway. But Coach Sykes, how you doing, brother?
DT, I'm doing good. What do you mean I wouldn't call you back?
Well, you know, a lot of times you're busy. You got things to do. I know how you are.
I have to work for a living, brother.
I know you do. I know you do. That's what was bothering me. I knew you had to work.
No, man. Whenever you call me, hey, we always have a good conversation.
We really do, and I appreciate it so much. Appreciate your friendship over the years. Even when we won't tell them what you did for me, but every 2 or 3 months when you had to head home back to Colorado, you'd always bring me a surprise when you came back.
I know. And, yeah, you can't talk about those kind of surprises.
Well, I don't know. This town's a little different now.
That's what I understand.
Since you left, it changed a little bit.
Well, I was going to the high school, and one afternoon, and I got off on that exit. I was going west on WK. I like to wreck my car when I saw that Wildcat sign.
I know it, and you didn't wreck it just because you don't like Kentucky Wildcats either, did you? Hey, I have one of your old players and buddies here beside me filling in for Gates this morning. Gates couldn't come. He's in Vegas. I know it breaks his heart. But Mr. Will Brown sitting here. If you think you might have a question for him, he probably does have one for you.
Morning, Coach. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Hey, listen, I want to thank you personally for every Thanksgiving and every Christmas you always send me a happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas. I appreciate that, Will, because I know you're thinking about me. And I tell you, I've been gone from down there for 31 years, but, I've got some fond memories in Princeton.
Well, I can tell you, Coach, with my teammates, myself, and all of us, we all have such wonderful memories of you as well. And almost any time we have a get-together, your name comes up and the stories come out, and it's just a great time when we talk about all those times we all had together. And even though it's been many years, we still look back on them, laugh and happy. And, sometimes the funny things you would say, that sometimes are at my expense, but that's okay. I can understand that, Coach. That's how it is. But D and I were laughing about some of them this morning. So, we miss you here, Coach, and it's always my pleasure to get to see you and talk to you.
Well, I enjoy it too, Will, and I haven't changed much. I'm the only thing I had to deal with is that I was fortunate and blessed to have find a nice gal and that would settle down with me, and I've had two daughters with her, and not changed being an old football coach. I've got girls. I'm telling them all the time, suck it up. What are you doing? Hey, it's called LIFE.
And that's how our practice
but my
used to
girls
be, buddy.
have done well. I've got a daughter teaching at Central, and believe it or not, y'all remember Mary Michelle?
Oh
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
This is a special day for her and me. She is starting. I gave her. I'm not getting any younger, fellas. I'm not slowing down much, but I just cut her out a little bit of my territory towards Lexington. She started working for me today.
Well, that's great.
That is great.
That's great.
So she got a degree at Louisville. I don't hold that against her.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say, ooh.
She didn't like her situation in Louisville working for the school system there. So hey, she had an option and she took it, and I'm just thrilled. I am. I'm excited for her. And when we get off the phone, I'm probably going to give her a call because she's out there. She's out there in my territory, just like I used to do 31 years ago.
Well, if we're still alive, dude, we'll just call her next time, talk to her.
There you go. What do you mean if you're still alive?
Well, you never know. I mean, you never know anymore. It's getting older all the time. But anyway, when you first came here, I was still in Western. But when I came back, I taught at Warren East for 8 years before I came here. And I remember when I came back, I think you pretty much maybe left in January that year, didn't you?
Yeah.
You left early, yeah. But
I left in the middle of the year, and I'll never forget because you all remember Sean.
Yes.
And I remember having a really, really, serious conversation with him, trying because I coached him all the way up to his 8th grade, and he just, that's all he knew me as a coach and a teacher. Mm-hmm. And it upset him to no end that I was going to get out and go into sales. But, at that particular time, it was what I needed to do.
That's right.
And it worked out.
Well, when you came here, when I first came back, though, what I remember is Reed was good enough to hire me. I was in sales, too, and just didn't like it. But he hired me as a counselor. And when I was there, what I remember about you is the study hall and taking the kids on the bus down to the weight room. I remember you doing that all the time. And, of course, in study hall, one time I had to take over for you, and I didn't have a problem because all I did was just say, I'll probably talk to Coach if you do anything, and they didn't do anything. So it was all right. When you all went, Willie, when you all went down to the weight room, is that where the new Crooked Tail is?
Yes, that was the what was the name of that, Coach? The Black Patch Fitness Center, or what was the name?
Oh,
the
Princeton
Fitness Center. Yeah, I remember we went down there and lifted, and it was a real way it was set up. We had our own.
Well,
books.
back in those days, there weren't. Your selection was slim.
You're right. There was, but I'm gonna tell you, it was the first real gym I remember around here. I mean, and you had our own books for each of us with our workouts in it, and it was really highly organized. But my earliest memories of you were, of course, I knew you forever when you and my mother worked at the middle school.
Yeah,
I've known you
forever.
I love you. Well, thank you. But I remember I had played Little League football, and we were just going when we just started having middle school. It was a junior high up till then. And I was like, all right, I was on the Reds, and I had great coaches then, the Walls and Hamby and all of them.
Oh, yeah.
But I remember thinking, all right, I'm going to get to finally be the old guy in football. We're going to be the old big bad dudes. And they said, well, not this year because you're going to go be part of the 7th grade middle school team. I'm like, what the heck is that? and we got out there, and it was you and, of course, the late, great Chick Walker.
Yep.
And, man, you talk about – and I'm not you talk about an eye-opening experience. Wow. I mean, it was, like you said, the way you were talking about the LIFE. And it was. I mean, and Coach, I've always said this, and I've always meant this. I mean, you physically you pushed us so hard. And it was, and you know, at the time, I'm like, whatever. But now I look back and say, man, how great was that? And the greatest gift I always said you had is, and as I coached, and I never could emulate that for sure, but you pushed us, you demanded high expectations. Yet at the end of every practice, after we'd gone through just incredible physical exertion, we always wanted to hang out and talk with you. And that was a gift I always thought you had that you don't see that much. Somebody that can push you to that limit of almost just physically wanting to quit, yet we gravitated towards you. And that's a great gift. And that's why whenever we get around together, we talk about you and bring you up, because I can tell you I was in the best shape of my life. We were an offensive line, and you were our coach in the '83 season, I believe. Man, we were all right. We didn't win a lot of games, but I can guarantee you right now, we got after people, and that was because of the example you set and the work you did with us.
Well, hey, coaches. Also, the thing real quick about it, what I can get out of it is they weren't afraid of you; they respected you.
Absolutely.
You know, that was what was the best part about it.
Well, yeah, I tell you what. You know, when you're young and you're out there and you're working with young guys and stuff, and you know, it's. I used to tell my kids, I said, look, hey, I'm going to be tough on you. I said, I wouldn't ask you to do anything I hadn't done or wouldn't do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But I guarantee you I done it.
Yeah.
You know, and that was my motto. You know, I thank those kids in the middle school. I mean, I dearly loved. That was my head coaching experience, and of course, I got to coach Sean at quarterback, and hey, those were the days, man. But you know, it was time to move on. But I'm telling you, those memories, and when guys like Will and you know, they come back and they talk to me and they tell me that's what it's all about.
That's right. It went quick, but it's well worth it. I feel the same way.
That's what it's all about. And I don't forget those things. I know a lot of times, DT, you say, man, I called him and he ain't calling me back. Brother, hey, I'm doing my due diligence, man. Hey, I got it. Like I said, I've got I'm blessed. I've got another family, and the job enabled me to, you know, to be to keep them up.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
No, I appreciate you calling me. You get on the road and you'll give me a call.
You get on my mind every now and then. I wonder what DT's doing. He's probably taking a nap.
Hit a speed bump.
Yeah, you drive by somebody, look at him, old man laying down.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, I drive by Princeton, and you know, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, when I repped for that company for 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
I didn't have Western Kentucky. I had Louisville. I did like a figure eight around the Ohio River. I went to Evansville, all the way over to Mount Vernon. I still have business. I work with a couple of elementary schools over there now, and one of the teachers over there, she walked up to me. She says, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I don't." and it was David Barnes' first. I can't even think of her name. She kind of looks like him. His first cousin. She teaches over there.
Huh.
But anyway, I never got that way. But when I started working for myself 12 years ago, you know, I can go wherever I want.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why I started. They said, how come I haven't been seeing you? And you know, Caldwell's, they're good to me again. I've got a lot of customers in Caldwell County right now. So hey, what goes around comes around.
Yeah, you've made a lot of money off of me too on those candy bars.
Well, yeah, because you probably ate half of them.
I guarantee you can ask them at the bank. I've eaten most
He's
of them.
still eating them. He got them in the freezer.
There you go.
Keep looking at those labels
talking
on
about, did you say Gates was in Las Vegas?
Yes, for his convention,
Rydell
convention.
Well, I went out there in January, and fellas, I got to tell you the story. I did not want to go. Most people want to go to Vegas. I'm not a gambler. I bet the horses every now and then. But I'm not a gambler, but I went out there because they had a fundraising conference out there. And believe me, brothers, the business is shrinking. There aren't too many of us out there anymore.
Yes.
And companies are falling left and right. But anyway, I went out there just to kind of see if I could pick up something that would catch my eye, that I thought would sell in my territory. And I ended up bumping into the national sales manager for World's Finest Chocolate. And he actually had his suitcases in his hands, leaving the conference, going back to Mississippi because he was having his first grandchild being born. Make a long story short, we exchanged cards, and 2 days later, I was selling World's Finest Chocolate.
Well, I mean,
And that was I'm telling you, that was a blessing there.
I wish I'd have been with you.
Yeah, I know. I'd probably still be there.
Yeah, hold
I'll
on.
be eating as many of those candy bars as I can.
You're like you still eat them hot dogs.
When I go down, dude, you come see me down here, and I'll have chocolate on my face.
He does right now. Look on the video.
Hey, you better. Hey, DT, I knew you'd call me dude. You know. Hey,
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
I know. Gloria said, "Hey, he's going to call you dude." I said, "I know he will." Because everybody, when I go back to Western, everybody calls me dude.
Well,
Because you know what?
you
Hey,
were.
Will,
Yes,
believe it or not, I was a quiet guy, and not many people. Hey, leave that still water alone.
He was a quiet guy, all right, because he stood over in the corner and looked at everybody like he was going to kill him.
It looks good kill.
Yeah, that's what he did. And that was one of the things at Western when I first went. I didn't get to dress my first year, but then the second year I got to don a uniform, but I didn't play any. But they told me, they'd say, Clayton was one of them, he'd say, "Now, we're not going out of the tunnel until Sykes is ready." And I looked around, I thought, well, Lord, where is he? And I kept looking, and all of a sudden I heard a bunch of banging and carrying on in the back room. When he was banging, then we went out.
It was time.
It was time.
He
Yeah.
let you know.
It was
Yeah.
ready. We were ready.
I was getting that attitude right.
That's right. You did. You did. You got it right. You got everybody else's
I
right,
used to
too.
I used to tell those kids, man, because Will, you're right. Hey, I love talking to the kids after practice, you know, and,
Yes, sir.
and sharing things with them, and it was good for me in my life at that time.
Yes, sir.
It was
Well-
just a great experience for me.
Well, I can tell you made an impact on a whole lot of young men with those years here, and I was, every chance I get, I like to tell you how much I appreciate everything you did for
Well-
us, and I guarantee you I've got a whole bunch of guys that'll line right up with me and say the same thing.
Well, one of these days, why don't we just do this? Why don't we just maybe have our own reunion or something?
That would be fantastic. I
Just give me a
guarantee.
shot, because I tell you, I hated to miss the one, but you know what I did? I killed two birds with one stone this past summer. When you texted me and said that you had your reunion,
Yes, sir.
and wanted me to come by, see, I kicked the football team off. David Barnes, man, he's done, he just does a good job for me and has for the last 7 years. I kicked the football team off in July. This year I brought my wife. We went down. It was just like the old day. I brought my wife, brought my boat, kicked the football team off, and then we stayed down at the lake for about 3 days.
Well, that's fantastic.
So
You
that
still on
Saturday
one
we
ski?
actually extended it, and we had to get back. But
You still on
it
one
was-
ski?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Don't
And,
lie,
I
you're not.
I got to buy a little bit bigger boat, so, and I keep it down at Campbellsville. I never was a golfer because I figured, man, DT, if I'm going to do something, I want to be the best at it, or try to be.
That's right.
And I'd been out there, and I know I never would have got the hang of that swing, man. I guess I did too many bench press.
Yeah, I imagine. Hey, before you have to take off, I know you're probably sick of talking to us by now, but
No.
let's talk a little bit about old Chick. Chick was a dandy, wasn't he?
Listen. He always. I mean, he was there for me. He was kind of like a father to me. He's
agree.
about the age of my father.
He treated me the same way when I came in after you left, so evidently I took your place.
Yeah, I loved him dearly. I loved him like a father, and he treated me like a son. And Chick. I mean, there ain't too many days I don't go by. I don't think about him. If I needed anything back in those days, I mean, Chick would have been one of the people I called.
He was probably as close to Coach Gilbert as anybody, don't you think? I mean, as far as being.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I mean,
Yeah.
they were both people about similar. And
Yeah.
Are you headed to any games this year?
Gosh, I think they play Vanderbilt tomorrow?
Big thing tomorrow.
Yeah, I was by the way, I want to say this, all the prayers and blessings. My youngest daughter had surgery Tuesday, and a lot of people from Caldwell and Princeton got on Facebook. I just want to thank them for their prayers and their blessings, because she's fine, and hopefully we'll get her home tomorrow.
Good.
That's great.
Fantastic.
How
But
old
anyway,
is she?
But yeah, I was thinking about maybe Vanderbilt, but I might go to homecoming.
Okay.
I think I'll do that.
Well, I'll get back and text with you too. We'll try to get down and see each other.
I'd like,
somewhere.
because it's always enjoyable to see those people.
Sure.
You know.
Even if it's Dewey's, Even if you have to say
No,
him.
yeah. Yeah, I've kind of deleted it. No, I haven't.
That bird's had 2 or 3 heart attacks and still kicking.
Oh.
I don't know how he does it.
Somebody said Johnny Vance had one.
Somebody told me that the other day too.
Now, he played quarterback for
Yes.
you.
Sure
I
did.
remember. I played every position on the offensive line.
Yes.
And when they put me back at center, and what Johnny. I guess Johnny Vance was probably, 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He put his hands underneath my rear and jacked me up, and I had to have an All-American nose man on my nose. I looked like one of those dragsters, man, getting ready to fire off the line, but hey, with no tires.
Yeah. Yeah, but you took care of him, I'm sure.
I guarantee you battled him, to say the least.
That's right.
Well, hey, those were the days.
They
It just
were.
seems like it's all. Hey, I can't believe that this much time has gone under the bridge now.
Oh, me. I'm telling you. Quick. Unreal. I can't believe I had 32 years in education, and then now I've been out for 10.
That's amazing.
It's something.
That's amazing.
Something we're still here. I don't know. I told Charlie Coleman that one time we beat him in golf, and I first moved back. I was 29, and I've told this story, and people are sick of it, but he was over at the Elks. We were talking about it. He said, "I can't beat you young whippersnappers." And I said, "Charlie, how old are you?" He said, "I'm 42." And I thought, "Man, you are old."
Yeah, we've already caught up with them.
Yes, exactly. I'm double past him. Double past
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I remember when somebody. I'm not gonna tell you what. Everybody probably knows how old I am, but I just don't tell them. But they say you don't act your age. You don't look it. I thank you. I said you don't lie either, do you?
I tell you what, though, I saw you the other day. You've kept yours pretty well.
You know what? I swung by Trice yesterday, and I saw Dean Hughes, and I hadn't seen him in years. And Dean was always a good friend of mine and close, and somebody I kind of hung out with, and. Dickie Thomas, man, that guy, he's the first guy I met in Princeton. That was my age, and we both got into boating, and I've had a boat ever since. I've had a boat ever since I was 26 years old.
Yeah, I knew you and Dickie ran quite a bit together.
Yeah, I was, I was close to his family, and they, his mother and dad lived in the same subdivision. So Dickie and we kind of go way back, and he's kind of kept me abreast what's going on in Princeton. He normally calls me when something's going on. So,
Well,
but he's a good guy. I like him.
That's wonderful. I tell you what, I sure appreciate you calling us, so dude. We've enjoyed it, and
I have too.
If we get stuck again and we need somebody that we really like to talk to, we'll holler
you caught
back
me at a good time because Friday I stopped. I put the brakes on, and I'm in the office today. So, but I'm busy. I got my mother. My mother's going to be 91 in November, and 9 years ago she moved to T-Town.
Wow.
So,
well,
I'm her caretaker. So she got to get her hair done, and I'm in the office. So I've got taking care of my grandson this afternoon, so I'm still busy when I'm not working.
When you're not working.
Well, we want to tell you how proud we are of you too, though, for starting your own business. That's not easy. You got to really think about doing something like that when you did it. That was great.
You've heard the term sweating bullets.
I can imagine.
I've sweat a few.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
But it worked out for me. The training that I got from that company, didn't like working for a company, but I really do like working for myself, and. I plan on, hopefully, if this is a positive thing for Mary, I can see Mary stepping right into my territory and taking over my business, and that's kind of the goal.
Well, that's
long range goal.
Hey, that's what you shoot for when you have kids. Try to help them out as much
if
as
they
you
can
can.
step in there and do that, that'd be awesome.
You think it gets a little easier as they get older, but it usually gets a little worse.
Yeah.
But as far as helping them, but I don't mean worse in a bad way. But
yeah, I know what you're saying.
But anyway, well, Coach, take care. We're going to get out of here and have to go to a commercial before they fire us.
All right.
Fire us?
Well, listen. Okay, you mean they paying you to do this?
No, it's just paying me to talk to you. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just getting to talk to you, Coach, is payment
Hey,
enough
Will,
for
I
me. I
appreciate
just
it.
want to
Hey.
make that clear.
You're one of my favorites, and I'm telling you, son, hey, you always have been, and I appreciate you.
Well, we love you too, Coach, and look forward to getting next time we get to see you, buddy.
All right, guys.
Take care.
Let's do that reunion. You all work it up, and just give me a shout.
We'll do it, Coach. Good
Thanks,
to talk
man.
to you.
I'll
Thanks,
see you at
DT.
Western. Okay, buddy. See you.
Love you guys.
All right, you too. Man, we got a good 25 minutes off of
New
him.
car and truck buyers, listen up. It's the time of year that the 16s are rolling out and the 17s are rolling in. At Trice Hughes Incorporated, we offer 7 new American car lines to choose from, awesome trade-in allowances, end-of-the-year model rebates, and great financing options. Some people think they have to go out of town for a great deal. We think shopping in Princeton, Kentucky at Trice Hughes Incorporated might just be the best decision you ever make. Give Trice a try before you buy. And as always, if we don't have what you're looking for on our lot, we'll find it for you. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Hello again, everyone. Brent Ladd with Trice Hughes with our Pigskin Pick of the Week. This week's pick is a 2015 Dodge Ram diesel for only $36,000. This one-owner local trade with leather and navigation has only 50,000 miles and is priced $3,000 under NADA retail. That's right, Brent Ladd's Pick of the Week has been $40,000, but is now only $36,000 for this 2015 Ram 4x4 Laramie diesel. Come see me, Brent Ladd, at Trice Hughes for my Pigskin Pick of the Week. Remember, shop local and go Tigers.
It's that time of year again. Soon leaves will be falling, football and deer season is right around the corner. And when those little critters get stirring around, sometimes our vehicles get in their way. Whenever that happens, Trice Hughes Incorporated hopes you remember our body shop to get you back on the road. We offer free estimates, 3-stage paint process that is guaranteed as long as you own your vehicle, and certified technicians that together offer 115 years of combined experience. We keep rental vehicles readily available, so even if your car is out of commission, you don't have to be. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Here we are back at WPKY 103.3 FM on the Tiger Talk with Gator and DT, and Willie's filling in for Gator today. And we're going to just talk a little bit about Willie's new job out there, also when he first moved back to Princeton and what he did before he got to Princeton. That was a few years back.
It's getting to be that way. Good Lord, it used to be, wow, I just got here. And now it's like, man, they're ready to get rid of me. I've been here so long. I can imagine how they feel about you.
Thank you. I can hear this at home. I don't have to hear all that.
And that's what I'd like to say. I think what we need to do is when you said I was going to be on the show instead of Gator, just get real quiet and listen. You can hear the sound of hundreds, if not thousands, of radios being turned off right now. Gates is gone and I'm on. So that's not a good thing. Well, I do appreciate you asking me to be on here, and we were talking earlier, trying to plan this moving, rolling disaster out, basically. Yeah,
festivity.
And, especially glad if people are looking online, because it's not just burning your eyes, but your ears, but your eyes are bleeding probably now. But anyhow, no, I was happy when I got to come back here. I graduated from college. I went and worked at Webster County for a year with Jay Cobb over there, who's now, if I'm correct, the defensive coordinator at Trinity High School. The big powerhouse in Louisville. I looked online, saw his picture. His hair is real gray, and he still doesn't have a neck. No, that's who he used to call him, old No Neck Cobb. But he's a great guy. Gave me an opportunity. A lot of that was due to our old dear friend Richie, who had coached him and been with him. And I tell you what, when I came back here, I remember the day I was hired at the old board office across the street from where we are now. And when I got to come back and work with, guys that were heroes to me, you, of course, Richie, Larry Curlin, and then Gates, I knew a little bit, but not much. You guys brought me in, and just it was a seamless move, got me involved in everything, positive and negative. But it was just wonderful. And I look back and talking to Coach Sykes about the times then. I look back to all those years we worked and coached together, and man, it was just wonderful. Whether it was on a Friday night yelling at each other over the headsets, or out painting the fields, or doing whatever it was, selling lemonade, doing whatever he had to do, man, those are wonderful memories, and I wouldn't ask for any of that to change, and I appreciate y'all.
Seemed like we were together a lot, didn't it?
We were all the time.
You go to school at 7 in the morning, get home about 11.
Yeah, and that was just part of it, and that's what we expected to do, and that's what I always thought education was about, was the clubs and the dances and the coaching and the bus driving and all that stuff, and we all did all that stuff. But I was lucky y'all brought me in, and I got to work. The best thing is, I'm thinking about talking to Coach Sykes. The other night, I was at a gathering, and some former players were there. Billy Hooks, Austin Bowes, and whenever I see those guys, man, we come up and hug on each other and talk to each other and laugh and tell stories, and that's to me the greatest gift of all this. Yeah, winning's good and state championships are outstanding, but it's just when those old players come back and you get to talk to them and hang out with them. I mean, how there's nothing more fun and enjoyable than that. And I'm just lucky and blessed that y'all let me back in y'all's little club.
That was great. I tell you what's good about it, and you don't get it till you're about my age probably, but they called me DT and this and that and other. But the players that I had, most of them when I see them, they call me coach.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good, although I don't know if you really did coach that much, because we did a lot more teaching and talking than we did coaching. We had tried to get the guys to where they were happy, and if you're happy in playing football, then you're going to do well.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's a whole lot of times not to be happy.
Oh man,
that
time of year in July, my goodness.
And it's back before there was such thing as a sling psychometer. It was you might get an extra water break thrown in there, and it was full gear basically almost from day one, and there's a lot of opportunities to not enjoy it, either whether you're coaching or you're wearing all the gear. And if you can make it where everybody's having fun and what have you, I mean, you need to be serious, but there's also a point where you got to have fun and let your human side show, not just your professional side. And that's the greatest thing about it to me.
Has to be a family, a brotherhood.
Yeah.
All of you have to get along. If you don't, it's trouble.
It's miserable. It's absolutely misery there. But I was lucky to do that, and then a few years ago, we had a little issue with some weather in the winter, and we had some fields all dying, and I walked into this position now, so I'm not involved directly with the program, but I do try not to mess up the fields. But I'm lucky. I'm like anybody. I'm surrounded by a lot of great people. I got Frankie Brown does a fantastic job mowing. Bruce Farmer is there to fix anything that I tear up usually, and he does a fantastic job. And Adam French, I work closely with him and his company on getting the field done. And right now, like I said, our soccer field is a little chopped up but looking good. The game field, I think, is in solid shape. And hopefully we're getting those things ready. Everybody says you put a lot of time in it and it should be easy, but when you get this time of year, the nights get cooler, the grass doesn't grow as fast, and hopefully we're putting together a field for a long run in the playoffs. So that's our goal.
I will tell you what, it's beautiful.
I can? Yeah. Go Green, Adam French. There you go, Adam.
The field is beautiful. I'm telling you, I've been there. I watched it when we had no grass and watched it when we had all water when it rained. And of course, back in my time, these people will remember this too, is we sodded our old Butler building field. All it was cinders, but we practiced on it. The band was on it every day. That's all you did. No grass, but we got out of class. They took us out there on a hay truck
really?
to Billy Mitchell's farm, and they cut sod, and we brought the sod back during school day and put it on that field.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, they took us out under the old culvert over there on the Dawson Road. I mean, on the Katy Street.
Yeah.
And people would be riding up on there like a hay truck.
Yeah.
And what would happen now?
Oh, my Lord. I wouldn't even want to think about it.
I don't even know if my daddy even knew I went. They just said, come on, we're going.
You'd have to get a bug zapper to keep the lawyers away
nowadays
from
you'd have
that.
to have a lawyer for each kid and a piece of paper to sign and everything else just to get to go. But no, your fields are, in my opinion, they're beautiful. I drive by and look inside that Butler building where the fence door is, and
yes,
man, it's so pretty.
Well, and the great thing is too is Mr. Boyd has allowed me, and he's made the commitment to me, and the board has to make some investments in it. And the thing is, we've done a lot of things that hadn't been done there. We do the top dressing with the sand in the summer and the aeration and spraying and all. But, as much as anything, when you talk about making an investment in something that directly affects kids, I mean, granted, we are in the education business, and the majority of our investment needs to be in actual educational programs. But when it comes to things that truly affect a child that our students are directly impacted by, they're the only ones on that field are the youth of Caldwell County and our students. And we give them a good playing surface. A, they're proud of it. B, it allows them to compete, especially a soccer field where you're rolling the ball around. It needs to be smooth. Exactly. And it provides a safer setting as well. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things that giving them a quality place to play. And D, you'll know this. You've been around enough schools in your life. Our facilities for a 2A school,
Hard to believe.
you can't. There's very few places I think that could say they have what we have.
There's no way.
No,
way.
and that's something I think we take a lot of pride in our school system, and I know I take a lot of pride in.
Well,
so
you should, and it's worth you. And like I said, I told Bruce many times too when I go out there that field, and you know how hard it was to paint.
oh,
I mean,
man.
of course, we had those little spray cans, but still, I don't care how you got to do all that. That's a job.
Well, especially though, there's very few people that can walk like Gates used to when he would paint that field, with that head down and all. He has that natural hump anyway, but he'd get all lean and get those feet in. Man, he was a thing of beauty spraying them lines.
I tell you what, he people can say all they want about him, but he was a good head coach because he was there all the time. He took it serious. You know, just like he does this right
Yeah.
here. He'll fire me probably because I haven't had all my notes written down. And, you know, when he broke for break a minute ago, I didn't say nothing. He just went on with it. And Gator would have read all the WPKY stuff and said, we'll be back in just a minute. And I'm sorry I didn't do that. But he's ready to go.
He is, and he's, like I said, I was lucky that he allowed me to come in on the staff, and man, we had a lot of fun. And the thing is, we worked hard, but we did our share of goofing and arguing and making fun. I mean, people think you're all talking nothing but business on those headphones, and sometimes there wasn't a lot of business going on those headphones.
Hey, Jordan, we're about ready for another break. We got to get our other guests in here to give them their time. We'll be right back. Tiger Sports Talk.
Hello again, everyone. It's time for another Brent Ladd's Pigskin Pick of the Week, and this week's pick is a dandy. A brand new Dodge Ram Crew Cab 4x4 that's 20% off. This week's pick lists for $44,680 and is on sale for $35,744. That's right, over $8,900 off a brand new Dodge truck. Brent Ladd's pick has a 5.7 Hemi and 20-inch chrome wheels, all for only $35,744. Come see me, Brent Ladd, at Trice Hughes for this week's special, and remember, shop local and go Tigers.
Let's talk OnStar. Most GM vehicles, maybe even yours, are now equipped with OnStar. The benefits of OnStar are immeasurable when it comes to saving your life and the lives of your loved ones, helping locate your vehicle in the event that you can't, and navigating you when you are lost. OnStar offers automatic crash response that sends emergency responders to your location even if you can't speak. Stolen vehicle assistance will locate your vehicle immediately in the unfortunate case in which someone mistakes your vehicle for theirs. Turn-by-turn navigation is available to take you anywhere you want to go with the push of one blue button. And you can always stay connected when you activate OnStar 4G LTE and Wi-Fi hotspot on select vehicles. OnStar keeps you informed on your vehicle diagnostics and can even diagnose a problem as you are driving down the road. Activate OnStar on your eligible 2011 model year or newer vehicle today and get 3 months free plus 3 years free of their basic plan. Stop in Trice Hughes Incorporated today for details or assistance on your OnStar activation. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
We're back here at the studio live, and this is probably a first for me. And we've introduced all the coaches in town and all the sports in town, and we thought it'd be have a good due for our cheerleading sponsors to be here and talk a little bit about their ladies. And other than that, I'm not really up for questions. I don't know really what to ask, but I guess I could start by saying I know Pat Gates. His wife was a cheerleader, and she was the cheerleading sponsor quite often while he was there. I think maybe a couple of his daughters were as well. And so I do know how hard you all work. I know it's your season never ends.
That's right.
You know, it goes. And I'll be honest with you, I know Whitney Boynton, and I've never really met you.
Audrey Bartolotti.
Bartolotti. Oh.
That was good.
Coach Giordano would have loved that.
Coach G would have actually gone crazy.
Yeah, he would have loved that. Well, I will say that you all are the two prettiest people we've had on our show
Well,
already.
thank you.
Wow.
Willie,
Not you.
I'm
Boy,
sorry,
that
Willie.
hurts. Man.
Now, if Sykes was still on the radio, he wouldn't agree with that. He'd be one of them.
He was, the best sounding.
But anyway, maybe just give us a little shout about like how many girls you have, or you know, how do you get? I know used to they even asked me one time to sit in the stands when they tried out, and I had to help vote for them like I knew what I was
Oh,
doing.
Lord.
I don't even know how you do that anymore. Or do you just?
You were a judge.
Hey, watch it. Yeah. What are you talking about? I was back in my younger days. I could judge when I was younger.
Now, not so much.
No.
Huh?
But anyway, give us one of you, or you, Audrey, whatever you all want to just say. How many girls do you have on your squad?
We have 18 cheerleaders this year. One is a male. So
Right.
this
I
is
saw
the
him.
first time that we'll be competing co-ed for a while. I think they might have competed co-ed 5 years,
5 years
ago
ago.
or something
Yeah.
like that. So usually we compete medium, small, but this year we have 18, which would have put us in large. However, we have one male, so we'll go co-ed A, which is up to 24 with 3 or less males. So
And
that's
how many
kind of new.
competitions do you all usually do during the year, or do you? Is it you most of them in summer, or are they during the school
No,
year?
they're during the school year. Our
Yes.
first competition is November the 19th at Marshall County.
At Marshall County.
And that'll be the regional competition.
Regional comp.
Now, you all broken down like you said in different classes, right? I mean, you don't have do certain like
It's
football.
based
where
on the numbers.
the size of the
that can-
school or
Yes.
the size of the
No,
cheerleader.
it's the size,
Size
of
of the
cheer-
squad.
Squad. Okay.
Mhm.
Not the size of the cheerleader. Size of the squad.
Right.
I'm sorry,
Oh, here we
gals. I
go.
didn't mean that.
Yeah,
Here we
which-
go.
Which is a little bit of a flawed system anyways, because there will be some teams that have 20 cheerleaders but only compete like their best 12. And then,
Right. That's
and that
and
kind
then,
of
so they
stinks, but it is what it is.
They work with those 12 and leave the others throwing rocks over on the
Right.
sideline. Yeah.
But we're going to compete all 18 of ours, so.
Well, good deal. That's great. And do you have JV and varsity, or just one squad for?
Just varsity.
Yep, just
so
varsity.
when you get to basketball, what do you have to do?
We split them 9 and
Boys
9.
and girls?
No,
Games
we just
or-
split. We have 18, so we split 9 and 9, and we have a blue squad and a gold squad.
Mm-hmm.
And we sort of just look at the schedule and we go through and say, like, okay, there's a boys game here,
Mhm.
blue squad. Tuesday night there might be a girls game, gold squad. And then when we do double headers like boy and girl games, they both cheer.
That makes it a lot easier than back when we were doing it, because I know the same group had to do all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, boys, girls, and
We did. When I
You
cheered,
did?
it was, we
yeah,
cheered all
tell
the
your
time.
age. Go ahead.
No. I'm not telling my age, but yeah.
We broke it down, tried to even it out as much as possible, so they cheer like the same amount of boys games, same amount of girls games, because sometimes they'll start complaining about little things like that.
Yeah.
But so we
Sure,
try to
girls
make it
don't
as
complain.
fair as possible. But they'll still end up cheering about 30 something games
apiece,
each.
So it's a
During
lot
basketball.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that's a long season. I mean,
very long.
you know, Dee and I were talking earlier. You know, when you get near the end of football season, you get a little nicked up, you're tired, whatever. Hey, you're done usually. When we were done a lot earlier, but now
Yeah.
you know you're done somewhere October, late October, early November. You know, they're just not even halfway there yet. And if you get
Yeah.
nicked and dinged up there, you got. And the thing is, everybody say nicked and dinged up. I'm gonna tell you, they work.
Yeah.
I mean, they work, and you know, I'm down at the board office, and they have a facility down there. What used to be the old gym is their facility now,
Which is great.
Which is they have their own place now, their own home,
That
and
makes a
it's whenever you know we don't get the lights
Big
going out or
difference.
some of the fun we have at the Butler Building. Man, they're working down there. You can hear them and up through the floors, and they're going at it.
Good
And
to
they,
know. We
well,
didn't
that's
know
good.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, sometimes
Yeah.
I have to put my head on the ground to hear it. No, I'm kidding. But no, they do. They're working all the time down there, and they work hard. I mean, they come out. They've been working. They're sweating. I mean, they're going at it just like any other athletic team would, and they work hard at it. And I think that's a lot to do with the coaches and the attitude they bring into it.
Well, I don't remember back years ago, not that long, but the cheerleaders would have to kind of fight for a spot. If a basketball had practice, they either had to do
Right.
it in between practice or after practice or the next day.
Or roll it into
We-
the
Find a spot
cafeteria.
outside,
We
yeah.
did. That's best. We either was inside during winter in the cafeteria,
Right.
or when it was hot, enough to be outside. We did it outside on the hill, right there by
Right.
the tables that are outside. So
And when you're in the cafeteria, then it's usually left up to you guys and gals to move the tables, the
Yep.
chairs,
Yeah.
then move them
was,
back.
yep.
You know,
So it's
that's-
great they have a facility
It's
down
really
there.
awesome.
That's good for them.
That's
They
great.
deserve that, especially as much
Yeah.
time and as long as they have to put in.
our season usually starts in May and runs until March. So we only have about
A little bit of downtime.
down, yeah.
And usually we have a banquet then, and then we tryouts and then start over.
Now, I was going to ask you, I don't want to put you on the spot like that, but for tryouts, now how do you all decide? Or I mean, are there judges? Or?
Yes, we have 3 judges. Whitney actually did really good. She asked Tiffany, what's Tiffany's?
Tiffany Ogle. She cheered with me.
Okay.
Yes, and she runs Clarksville Extreme. So she is an awesome judge for that. And then we also had 2 other former cheerleading coaches come in and judge. So we don't have anything to do with who makes the team. We kind of leave that up to outside people, and then we look at scores, we look at GPA, and we also do teacher recommendations. So that all factors into if they make the team or not.
I might have been a better judge than a cheerleader. I don't know.
You'd been one of them throwing rocks over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of decide the team, and then our first practice this year was June 1st, practice all the way up till dead period, kind of conditioning, and then in July when we came back, we started kind of preparing for the competition. We had, Tiffany brought in
is
some
doing
choreographers.
our competition cheer this
Yes.
year.
So we kind of started with that. We practice Monday through Thursday until after school until 5:30, tumbling on Mondays, and then games on Fridays, and usually 1 to 2 fundraisers every month on Saturday. So we're pretty busy.
Yeah, they're giving the weekends too, because I mean every time
Yeah.
you go around, they're doing fundraisers to, to defer a lot of the costs they have, because there are costs really involved with it. And
yeah, we went from 13 cheerleaders last year to 18 this year, so we had to get new uniforms because we didn't have enough. So that was a big chunk of money that we had to raise for, and just
I
everything
guess
else
that's
that kind of
something
goes
you
with
got to
it.
change every so often too, isn't it?
Right.
Different styles and all that. I know they do.
I think every 4 years. Is
Every
when we
4
can.
years, I think, is when.
Yeah. So.
Well, the thing is,
pretty
you got
busy.
to. I know back when we used to do the middle school and run that, you got to make alterations on those uniforms a lot
Yes.
of times. And I know by the time we'd roll around and get new ones, they'd bring them to us and say, you can only sew so many hems and shrink
Right.
them and do whatever so many times. They finally wear out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are, and that stuff. If Gator was here to take, because he sells that discount sporting goods stuff. That
Oh,
he
yeah.
sells, that stuff ain't cheap.
No, none of it is
None of those
anymore.
uniforms
No.
are cheap.
It's
It's terrible.
ridiculous is
No.
what
It's
it is.
terrible.
It's
So-
unreal.
And it's just not uniforms, they have to have new shoes
Shoes,
and new
yeah.
camp clothes and bows and backpacks to pack all their stuff and pom-poms, and I mean, it's.
And all these match, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
hopefully.
You lose yours, Willie, you just go. You're done. You don't
it
get
gets kind
one.
of rough, and I mean, it just it all adds up, and then just the cost of other miscellaneous things along the way. It adds up. Choreography, camp, all of that.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, that's why we had you on here, because we wanted you all to tell them exactly how much you have to go through to put up with all this stuff. And football, they have a lot of gear to deal with too. But I know, I've been around you. I've been around all the sports and cheerleaders always worked as hard as anybody.
Right.
Yep,
I know when
absolutely.
I drove the bus, they don't do that anymore. They get bus drivers, I think. But coaches, when we were there, had to drive, and they usually put the cheerleaders on with me on the second bus, which was fine. They didn't bother me.
We don't do that now. We
Now, I
have to
didn't
get our
figure
own
you had to
driver.
get your own thing, so
Yeah.
they'd throw ours on there. Of course, then I had to keep my eyes on the mirror to make sure the boys
Yeah.
were in the back, the girls weren't in the front.
Right.
All that business, but
Yeah, we our seasons kind of
I think the
overlap
boys
too.
played better though when
So.
when the girls rode the bus. The boys
Probably.
played
Wrong
played
bus,
better.
Really so.
isn't it?
Well, the problem was the second bus was a JV bus, so the girls didn't care nothing about those boys.
Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was your bus, right?
That was my bus. Yeah.
But no, I just want to also say something too. I know, these ladies do a fantastic job coaching the team, but also, we're lucky that Miss Bartolotti came, and she's also an excellent teacher, excellent art teacher.
That's what
Her,
I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Her,
Heard you're
you
a
go
great
in the
art teacher.
hallways where her students have put work up, and it's great stuff. It's amazing the stuff our students are doing, and she runs a great classroom, the whole 9 yards. So we're lucky to have her, and we're lucky to have you helping her. But we're lucky we have Miss Bartolotti here, and,
Well,
and
thank
hope
you.
hope she stays with us a long time.
Yeah,
And
our
Dennis don't
kids,
say anything
helped
smart
design the
because her
logo.
husband's a state trooper. So,
I know. I wasn't
Yeah,
gonna
that's
mention
true.
that.
yeah, you better watch out,
Well,
buddy.
my wife's the only one that has to worry about state troopers. She's got a heavy foot. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
You're a safe driver.
He's usually in the Crittenden area, so. you
Well,
might
that's
be
where
okay.
she was most
Oh,
of the
okay.
time.
Well, then maybe
Not
not.
anymore. Not anymore.
Dennis wears a seatbelt, so he's okay. I'll put that plug in for him. Don't pull him over.
We do have some
Anyway.
upcoming events.
Oh, what do you got?
We do.
Put it on.
We have a mini clinic next week where the primary and elementary, and then also some of the Head Start, right? Head Start and preschool.
Yes,
We invited
I think they're wanting.
of ages 4 to about 11, not really middle school age, are welcome to come next Tuesday. We're opening up the end of our practice from 4:30 to 6. It's $20 per girl. You just kind of sign up at the door. We'll get your T-shirt sizes, and our girls and our boy are going to work on stunts with them, cheers. We're going to teach them a dance, and then they are invited to come on next Friday, and cheer at the home game. So during the second quarter. So if you were interested, anybody listening, have a little girl that'd like to come out, you can find more information on our Facebook page, which is Caldwell County High School Cheerleaders. So it's easy to find. But we keep most things posted on there. What else we got going on?
November 12th, we have a Princess Day.
Yes, and that's a big one too. That's pretty exciting, and we'll continue to post things on our page about that. Then November 19th, regional competition.
Regional competition at Madisonville. Would like to have some supporters.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And then if we advance, we would go to state December 10th. And that would be in Lexington. And then that kind of just overlaps with football and basketball starts at the end of November.
Yes,
so
Then you have a happy new year and get
crazy.
started again.
Yes. Yeah. So, if you need any more information on that, though, you can find it on our page, or you can contact me, email me, call the school, something like that.
And by the way, I'm going to come in and put on a herky exhibition because, see, I bet they didn't think I knew what a herky was.
Oh.
I'm quite impressed. Ha-ha.
Can you
I
demonstrate
studied.
Right now?
Not enough
No?
room.
Okay.
The ceilings are too low.
Yeah.
The camera's not big enough.
The ceilings are too low. There you go.
No, I didn't.
The ceiling's too low. I might get too vertical on my moves.
All right. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to say, ladies? Or we're going to have to go to another break. And we'll let you go back to
no,
school. I know you'd rather
I'm
stay
good.
here for a minute, maybe, but no.
Oh, it's my planning, so
Oh, well,
it's
shoot.
okay.
You didn't even get a break.
That's all right. That's all right.
Good job.
But anyway,
Thanks for having us on. We really
ladies,
appreciate
thank
it.
you all, and you had a lot of great information, and wish you well and appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thanks for having us on.
You're more than
Thanks.
welcome.
You already knew that Trice Hughes in Princeton has the #1 service department in Western Kentucky, but did you know that when it's time for a new set of tires, we have you covered for that also? Our tire experts, Jeff Brandon, Garrett Harper, and Kathy Capps, have a combined 84 years of experience, and they are ready to serve you on any make and model vehicle. You'll be surprised at our competitive pricing on name brands such as BF Goodrich, Michelin, Goodyear, Yokohama, Cooper, and Uniroyal. Trice Hughes is also the only tire dealer in town to offer the economy price Kenda brand tire. All tires are road force balanced, providing you with the most comfortable ride possible, and rotations are free as long as you own your tires. Call the tire experts at Trice Hughes today. Quotes are free and the deals are worth the call. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton. So you're sitting at home, relaxing after a hard day at work. You would like to shop for a vehicle, but simply didn't have the time today. Well, thanks to modern technology and your friends at Trice Hughes, you can pick out the perfect vehicle, get an estimated trade-in value, and even submit a credit application from the comfort of your living room. Visit TriceHughes.com, and in just a few short minutes, you could be on your way to a new car, truck, or SUV. Trice Hughes Incorporated makes it simple to shop from the comfort of your own home. That's TriceHughes.com, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
And here we are back at the talk show. Willie and DT this morning,
Oh,
103.3 FM, or www.wpkyonline.com. We appreciate all of your support, all of your listening, and one other thing we better mention, I guess, is our football game tonight. All of you all that can possibly get there, it's from what I can read and what David has put in the paper, they're going to be pretty strong, and it's got to be a pretty good ball game.
Yeah, that's what I talked to the coaches some this week, and they said, this is a big game. This is, you don't want to write off any other games down the line, but this is our first big, district challenge we've got coming up. A lot of people don't realize Tillman's in our district now, which that's a whole different animal there. Yeah, but this is our first time we've been there since the varsity game, since what did it say, the 60s or early 70s maybe? First varsity game.
Hayes said he went to
73 maybe. Oh,
Yeah, something like that. So it's a big game down there at the big stadium. Barnes has said they're and McClung and them, when I talked to them, said they're an absolute solid team. It's going to be a heck of a challenge. And like I said, you go down there. I'm sure it'll be a great atmosphere down there. They know the importance of the game. We beat them last year, so there's going to be that payback factor coming as well. So it ought to be a really, really exciting, good game.
I tell you, I used to hate playing them. When we come to this old Butler Stadium, of course, we had maybe 35 on our team, and they come rolling out from the gym dressed over there and start running around the field. And before the last one got around to the field, the other guy, last one wasn't out. They dressed about 100.
Wow.
And that was in the 70s,
Yeah.
68, 70. And so, of course, you couldn't play with 11, but still, it's enough to scare somebody.
I only played against them once in middle school, and there comes a Bill Sykes story.
Oh, Lord.
We got over there and got whopped pretty dang bad and came back. Well, apparently we had a little too much fun on the bus ride home.
Mm-hmm.
So we pulled up there. They were having a Little League football game. Coach Sykes said, "I want all the girls off the bus. Way away. Don't stay near the bus. Boys, put the windows up." And, boy, bing, here we went. We got told all about it. Yeah.
I imagine you did. But, yeah, we need all the support we can get tonight at Paducah. I think they're showing that game. I'm not for sure exactly when or how it's the Channel 6 game of the week, I believe, is what I saw on the news last night. But
and it but it is streaming live on WPKY.
That's
online.com,
exactly
correct?
right, online.com.
Yeah, and I get it on and I watch it. Of course, when I get to watch this show, I always do it on the tune-in and picks up PKY online. So that's how I get to view the Tiger Talk show usually.
Well, now that Gator's not been here, and I've probably got to stay all I'm going to get to stay for the next month, he likes it, and he does a great job with it. So, but I have one more thing here I want to bring up today, now that we've got a few minutes left. Let me borrow your glass.
Oh, there you go.
One other person that came and hollered at me last week, besides, of course, Johnny and Brenda and Charlie, was Heath Cummins. And you all know his daddy, Eddie. But Heath came flying out of his vehicle, and I had just been over to the donut shop. Who'd have thought that?
No.
But anyway, he said, "Come here, I got something for you." And went over there, and he had been tearing down a house. And on one of the rooms, he said, it was covered with newspaper templates, old templates. And he gave this to me just because he saw the article, and it was from homecoming last week of Henderson. It was from the Henderson paper. And the title of it says, "Caldwell Visits Colonels Friday in Homecoming." And that was in my junior year. And I thought that was pretty neat. And I'm not going to turn, that's 68. The newspaper was 1968. And the article, I took it down to Chip. And he told me, yeah, that's the way we used to have to do them. And the guy that wrote the article was named Steve Austin. And he knew him real well. And Jay Davis, of course, from Henderson, told me that he is now the mayor of Henderson.
Steve Austin's also the $6 million man, if I'm correct.
Well, this might be him. I don't know. He wrote a $6 million article. Let me tell you, I'm gonna read it right now.
There you go.
You all, I want you to. I'm like Popeye. I can read reading, but I can't read writing. I'm gonna try to read a little bit of this just to show you what was said back in the day. But Caldwell County brings a deceiving 5-3-1 record to town Friday night as the Tigers go against Henderson County. The Tigers have beaten 2 of the state's top 10 teams. In Mayfield, we beat them 14-13, and Madisonville 33-26. Now that was my junior year. Excuse me. And Mayfield, it like to kill them because they had no idea that we would beat them, and of course we probably didn't either, but we did. And just to say a few things without reading the whole thing here, it says our losses at that time had come from Bowling Green, Franklin Simpson, and Paducah Tillman. We tied Hopkinsville. Coach Clayton said we started our rebuilding from what we had left last year, and now it has just hit form. Now this was our last game. Clayton said 3 players have come along extremely well the latter part of the season. They were fullback Don Reed, and of course, luckily myself, and split end Gary Childress.
The dog.
Hot dog. He said, Tomic didn't get to play much last season. They had Garnett Scott, an All-Stater, who is now on the freshman team at UK. And Coach said, and he's just now learning to throw the ball. And I thought, you could look at that two ways. Coach always did try to deceive the other team to not having anything, but then again, he also told the truth. So I don't know which one to go by on that one. But also the one that I really got that I liked, and I want you to hear this, Gary, if you're listening. Childress is a converted back who played quarterback on the junior varsity last season. At 105 pounds, he is quick and hits hard for his size. Now, anybody that always said you were scared, you just outran people, you tell them Fred Clayton told you hit hard for your size. And toward the end here, I just want to give you a few names of the people that were on. They gave us the offense, and no defense was listed, mainly because they just swapped over to the other side. It's the same names. But Gary Childress, tackles were Ken Sheridan and Craig Aiken. Guards were Mike Oliver and Norman Jackson, and the center was John Peterson. And in the backfield, John Shepard, Danny Cochran, Don Reed, and myself. And the game time was at 8 o'clock, and we were ready to go. But I appreciated Heath Cummins for bringing me that. That was awful nice of him, because back in our time, our parents, most of them, kept a scrapbook. But we wouldn't have had this article because we wouldn't have gotten the Henderson paper. But other than that,
Tell him I'll post it to the Facebook page.
all right. Jordan says he's going to post that on the Facebook page if you would want to see it. And I know most of you probably heard enough of it that right then. But I just thought that was interesting, and especially when he found that on the wall. He was nice enough to bring it to me, and I did know for sure he was listening to the show. And I appreciate that, Heath. Well, Willie, you got anything else for today? We've about gone 2 minutes over here. Dan's going to get mad. He has to pay some more.
I'm not worried about Bird. Good Lord. He's not here anyways. We can do what we want. We're going to take this show over. But no, just thank you for having me on. I've enjoyed it. I was a little nervous coming in, but anytime I get to spend an hour with my old buddy D, that's always makes my day every time, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, and you really made it a lot easier on me today, too. I appreciate it very much. And we are now, I guess, officially checking out till next week. And have a good week, and see you at the ball game tonight.
Go Tigers.
What does your service appointment at Trice Hughes do? Glad you asked. Here at Trice Hughes, we give a true 27-point inspection with each vehicle service. We change your oil, check fluids in your transmission, coolant system, power steering, washing fluid, and brakes. Then we inspect your tires, wiper blades, brakes, air filter, belts, hoses, drive boots, and exhaust system. Shoo, that's a lot. Keeping your vehicle maintained at Trice Hughes in Princeton is your best chance of a long and happy vehicle life. Call today for your appointment, 270-365-5522, Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton. Trice Hughes in Princeton wants to remind everyone that we have a full line of genuine GM and Mopar parts and accessories for your car, truck, or SUV. We also offer Retrax bed covers. You have to see to believe how awesome they are. WeatherTech floor mats are a must for folks with little people and moms and dads that want to keep their entire carpet protected. Make your truck or SUV stand out with chrome accessories such as 20-inch wheels and tires, running boards, mirror covers, and door handles. Need a gift idea? Adding remote start will surely please your loved one. Call Shauna today for all your accessory needs. 270-365-5522. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, or next year, when you need furniture and mattresses, come on into Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress. Hi, this is Peg, and when you come into our store, I promise you'll find an amazing selection. You'll get the best customer service and better deals. You're going to love our brands like Lazy Boy, Serta, Ashley, Catnapper, and if you don't find what you're looking for in the showroom, we'll help you special order at no additional cost. So every time you shop with us, you're going to find great prices like the Lazy Boy recliner starting at only $2.99. Maybe it's time for a mattress, and I promise you'll get the help you need in the mattress that gives you a great night's sleep when you shop with us. Maybe you need furniture for the kids, or a lift chair or lift recliner. We're proud to make sure that we have what you want. You'll get the best service and the best deal. And we always have some clearance items. Right now it seems like we have a lot, and they're all marked with special tags to make those special deals even easier to find. Shop where you count and where you get better deals at Herb Hayes Furniture and Mattress on Fort Campbell Boulevard, Hopkinsville.
Have you been a victim of debit or credit card fraud? Farmers Bank and Trust can help lessen your risk of getting taken advantage of, as our customer, you have exclusive access to a security feature in our app that will allow you to turn your debit card off while you're not using it, then turn it on instantly when you need to use it. Keep your information safe. Log into our free app to use this feature, increasing the security of your information right now. Not a Farmers Bank customer? Come down. Let us set up your account and start protecting you from potential fraud opportunities. This is not a guarantee that your information will not be compromised. This is an increased security measure. Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Are you facing surgery? Have you had a recent hospital stay that you're just not bouncing back from as quickly as you've anticipated? Hi, I'm Krista Futrell with Princeton Health and Rehab. Let us be your rehab partner of choice. With specialized therapy up to 3 hours a day, available 7 days a week, it is our goal to get you home safely and in the shortest amount of time possible. We're your friends, we're your neighbors, we're Princeton Health and Rehab. For questions about our rehab services, please call the facility at 270-365-3541 or stop by. We would love to give you a tour.
This is Sally Whittington, National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, Kentucky State Historian, member of General John Caldwell Chapter, promoting the celebration of Constitution Week, September 17th through 23rd. The average American believes that the phrase separation of church and state actually appears in the Constitution. It does not. Read Amendment 1 of the Bill of Rights. The phrase, thus building a wall of separation between church and state, was taken out of context from a letter that President Thomas Jefferson wrote in response to one written to him by the Danbury, Connecticut Baptist Association in 1802. In 1947, the Supreme Court was deciding a case in which an individual took issue with parents of parochial students being reimbursed with taxpayer monies by the government for expenses that they incurred in sending their children to non-public school. Emerson versus Board of Education. Justice Hugo Black cited the phrase written by Jefferson in the Supreme Court ruling on the case. It's particularly interesting to local people that Representative Matthew Lyon, then of Vermont, had cast the deciding vote, making Thomas Jefferson President of the United States instead of Aaron Burr. Further, around the time that President Jefferson was responding to the Danbury Baptist Association, Matthew